Hello everyone. Welcome to an English video. Originally, my plan had been to stream this as kind of like a nice, relaxed introduction to who I am and what I do. But if you're watching this in any sort of temporal order, you'll see this is the first English video I have right now. I have one Nier Automata video on my channel, and that is in Spanish entirely. The plan is to do all of it in Spanish from beginning to end. I've never played through the whole game before, but it seems pretty doable to me. But anyway, I was originally planning on live streaming this, but it turns out YouTube wants you to wait 24 hours between saying like, hey, I would like to stream, and actually being able to stream. So, I'm gonna make a video. If you're seeing this in the future and that issue's well resolved, hello, welcome. I hope you enjoy. But for now, it is what it is, and we'll see where it takes us. Anyway, this is a drawing that I started yesterday. I didn't expect it to go as well as it did. I did think that part of the drawing process was going to be on stream, but it was one of those things where, you just end up in the groove, and then before you even know what's happening, you have a completed drawing, and then all that's left is the coloring. So, let me just talk you through the layers real quick, also as a refresher for myself. So this was the original sketch layer. I can show you what that looked like underneath the other ones and take them away. So this was the original sketch that I had. As you can see, I have moved this foot here. It's now on the other side, which you'll see when I bring the layers back. But yeah, this is my sketch. It was a nice day yesterday when I was drawing it. It's a nice day today. And I just thought about wanting to be outside gardening. So I don't have a garden. We're gonna have to make do with the next best thing, which is drawing a garden. So this first layer I have here because it's going to be my first color layer. So it's blank. But underneath you can see I have all the little grass details and things. So these are like the little tufts. This is under her body. This is over by the garden. And these are more grass tufts, just for some texture, make it a little bit more broken up. And then this is going to be a pathway with dirt. I did merge too many things when I came to the body. Normally I would keep the body completely as it is and then have other things on other layers, but I accidentally merged too far, so we have what we have. But you can see here I have like the stairs over here and the porch, the house over here, and some of it's a little hard to make out with the line art, which I'm not super fond of. I also did it kind of quickly because I was just like feeling it. So this isn't, I would say, like a high quality drawing. This is more like, when you play around in a paint program for an hour or two. Next I have the girl and the garden. You can see I did the same kind of texture for the dirt here. And there's her foot I was talking about. And then I have this eye here because I realized what I had drawn originally, if you compare to the sketch, it was over more over here. And that was just a little too far over. So I normally keep the sketch layer in my drawings. No real reason, honestly, I hate getting rid of things once I've made them. But anyway, we have everything here. I think, yeah, we'll just go ahead and get started. I won't try to do anything fancy. It'll just be like a generic drawing, as one does. Like I said, it is getting warmer here. So nice. I feel like we've been in winter for so long. I'm just finally glad to have something that isn't horrible, awful, cold, freezing cold weather. when I'm done with this video, I'm probably gonna go outside and sit in the sun at least a little bit. I just have to. I think it's like the law of the first week of spring is when the weather finally gets nice. You are required to go outside and enjoy it. So if you haven't done that yet, and it's nicer weather where you are, consider this your obligation. If you're watching it and it's winter, you know, do something that makes you happy in the winter. Whether that's continuing to be inside, which I know is my preferred activity in the winter, whether it's like going out and snowboarding or something. We have other activities to do. Go find something. In fact, let me just put it that way. Like, no matter what you have right now for weather, what you have for life circumstances, whatever's going on, just find something to do that makes you happy. We all deserve some happiness. Goodness knows there's enough things in life that try to make you unhappy. There's no reason to let it help, not to let it help, to help it along any. One thing I like to do when I'm adding shadows and details is I like to lock this layer, this alpha. That means if I try to color over here, see I'm trying to color, nothing happens. It just makes it easier if I have a lot of other details going on. It's kind of irrelevant when there's only one color, but I just like getting in the habit of using it. I also really like shadows. They're so much fun to draw, so fun to emphasize. I really like this music. I wanted to have something in the background. I didn't know exactly what I wanted, so I went and I found some music that other people have made, which is awesome. Eventually, I'm going to have enough of my own so that I won't need to rely on stuff that other people have made. But for now, you know, it is what it is. And chilling here, relaxing. It's the weather changing. The birds are singing, and it feels like a return to life. If there is interest, hopefully I've remembered, but if there's interest and I forgot to link it, let me know, because I'm planning on putting the songs in the description of my video so that you can also access it if you like any of the songs or if they speak to you. It's just like a DMCA free playlist that someone very kindly put up with the intention of being used on streams. So if any of them sound familiar, there's a chance that someone else you watch and like has used it before, because it is, again, very kindly up DMCA free. I really like this style. Okay. When I do first shadows, I tend to like just to get like a basic understanding of what I'm doing. I don't get too specific with my shadows yet. Sometimes or ever. It really depends on where I land. Okay. This one I drew imagining really hot summer days, so I might want to get more specific just to emphasize. See. Normally I also do a color palette, but I haven't today. I guess it's more of that good spring feeling where I just jumped right into it. Okay. No rush or anything. Plenty of time. Modify, change, fix, come back to. playlist is wanna but this is my hearing it. Yeah. Nope. See? Enough. Shadows. Dry. Finish these. Normally, I like making these more the like accent shadows. Somewhere is folded over, like the arm is gonna have natural shadow, and then the shadow, because it's underneath the rest of her body. That's a place I'll put shadows. Should also shadow over clothing. It's now it's time for. I'm gonna do highlights in a couple different ways. It's either like that sometimes, or really got a good way there. Really cool thing I like most about drawing is there are a lot of rules, and a lot of what you do is important so that people can understand what you're trying to communicate. But at the end of the day, there's something right now. There are millions of people who would tell me I'm doing this wrong. That's okay. I wouldn't do it the way they would do it. That's fine. Right now, I'm the only one who has this pen and today has to be something that I feel like I like. I was going to say that like better than what I've done before, but you don't always have to draw things that are better than what you've ever made before. Not always. Sometimes. I'd like to constantly be improving. Not always. Okay, the next step, now that I've done that, is I want to come to color smudge. I have it set to a default that I like using. If you're using something, you can always look through. I know it says default, but I've changed some of these things around. So I like using that. I usually make it less opaque and then a little bigger, and I change it to the skin tone color because the way the tool works right now, if I were to color over it, it's actually adding the color that I'm using right now. So it's really important to take the skin tone color for me, for the way I do it. Then you start blending this out, and it starts smoothing it out and bringing it closer to this skin color right there. That's why I tend to, and what I like to do with my shadows, I tend to go really deep because I know I'm doing this step here. This step will bring it all a little bit closer to the starting skin tone. Accentuate the differences a little bit more. I don't really like how these highlights come out, but so feeling like maybe it's time to be a little adventurous. See where they go. Not usually how I do them. Very, very shiny skinned. But she's outside and she's overheating and taking a break from gardening. Makes sense. And this isn't going to be a very thorough or quick drawing. There, this is more have fun, listen to some good music, have a good time. Not that working harder on art can't be a good time. Some of my best days have been where I've just sat down at my drawing tablet and I've spent like 12, 13 hours non-stop working on a drawing. Oh, it dropped like I thought it would. That's okay. Oh, I like this motion. It's kind of spreading the shine out a little bit. Oh, that looks much better. Nice. If you notice what I'm doing, I drew the line up and down. I'm moving side to side with my blender. I like that a lot. Glad I discovered that. Oop. Don't want to. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Nice. Okay. So this is my skin color. I'll just mark that as skin. I'll put in. I feel like her hair probably brown. At least that's what I picture. I think I'm gonna move on to her hair next. We'll switch this back. Again, it says pixel, but it's another thing that I've worked on the settings on, so it's not as pixelated as it seems. As you can probably tell when I do that. Normally, I erase out the hair here, so that, or not the hair, the skin, so that when I do the hair, I can just go like bloop. I don't have to worry about how far I go. I'm kind of enjoying this way. A lot of texture, willing to be bold and sacrifice some clarity, at least in my experience. There are people who... I'm not there yet. Get there someday. It's music. Oh, it occurs to me. I mentioned earlier that someday I'll have my own music to be playing when I'm doing this. So in addition to drawing and playing video games, my plan is also at some point to start writing some music here and writing it specifically for use on the stream. So that I'm intending to be like an ongoing, maybe cooperative project. If I get a bunch of people who are interested, like writing that music with me, that'd be kind of cool. In my mind, I kind of picture like, you know, audience suggestions. Like I say, hey, I want to write a happy song. Like, I don't know, what 3 notes should I focus on for the melody? Audience can volunteer whatever, and I try to build things from it. Song too. Seem to have a lot of atypical scales to the Western ear songs. I've noticed a couple that have this very it sounds to us in the West, and I don't know about people in Japanese or other countries, but yeah, Japanese countries, that makes sense. In Asian countries like Japan or China or Korean, typically I think this gets associated with like Japanese or Chinese music, but I don't know if it sounds atypical to people who are used to those places. Because, you know, music is different culturally, although it all has the same roots. In terms of, you know, there's only so many sounds that we can hear and so many we can make. The way that we would consider standard for putting them together is different depending on where you live. color in this hair, this color. Or I feel like maybe it should actually be a purple or something of some kind. Well, I can pretty easily change it once I get it all in there. Maybe I'll just color it for now and then I can worry about what color it should be after. Can't decide if I want to do the melody, like if I'm trying to guess what the melody is going to be, or if I want to do like often when I'm writing music, I struggle to do melodies, mostly because I feel like they get too repetitive. So I'm harder at coming up with things where you would like sing to them, or you'd have like specific things you're doing with it, and I'm better at just coming up with like background music. I guess I could pull out a song I wrote a while ago. Wrote a series of 8 songs for the purposes of a project that ended up falling through. They're all in chiptune style, and they're all meant to be like background music for like levels and things like that. So not necessarily like super narrative driven or intensive like that. Maybe I'll do that a little. Alright, so I'm gonna select this layer and I think purple might look good. Gotta try and see what I think. I feel like that's a little too dark. There's some potential in purple here. Maybe a warmer purple. Although that feels a little too purple. Maybe what I want to do instead, keep this and then duplicate the layer, and over it do some of this purple. Now that I've done that, oh, I'll get some of the bangs too. Cool. Now I can bring in the color smudge. Same thing I did before where I kind of did it out. Get it kind of blended, right? I need to do down here. Now I can look. Not as different from the brown as it was. Yeah, like that. Okay, nice. Okay, now it's time to do press. So, when you're picking colors, you want to pick things that complement each other. I am horrible at this. I kind of guess a lot, but I know purple's opposite. It's opposite on the color wheel. If you look here, we have a purple here. The opposite is somewhere in the... Technically, the opposite of purple is yellow. When you have more colors like this, it should be more or less the same. Like this opposite would be up here. One would be more here. But you can also get away with doing colors that complement each other by being closer. So like, for example, back to the brush, I could do a pink and I could make it work. I could also do blue and that could work there, if you notice, on either side too. But I think what I'm gonna do for this nice and simple, feel good, sunny day drawing, I'm gonna go for a yellow. And already I think I'm probably gonna pull it a little bit more orange. So yeah, like a sunflower yellow. Sunflowers are bright, but they're also yellowy orange, at least how I see it. All right. And this might be where I start pulling in some of those complementaries to the hair up there. Like I can imagine this with either like a nice pattern, or I can imagine it with buttons, little accents. Very nice. Not gonna worry too much. A little bit of messy in the line art quality and a little bit of messy in the color. Give it a different feel. I want that. One other thing you might have noticed if you heard me earlier when I said that I'm going to try both Spanish and English, you might notice it's a surprising lack of Spanish. Someone who said very confidently, oh, I want to stream it. Right now, I did a couple of videos worth of recording for here at Automata. I realized one of the harder things for me is to go back and forth between languages. I definitely want to get better at it. I think that's something that I'll probably get better at with people. So for right now, I'm not too concerned about trying to do both in one stream. Like if there's something natural that comes up, like I don't know, I go like this and my first reaction is like, ay caramba, like fine. But I don't think I'm going to try to do both. Have more of presence to hang out with me and laugh at the silly grammatical things that I do. Where there are a lot of them. A little bit. That always comes when trying to practice a language. I have a lot of experience practice writing Spanish. Reading it, sort of. Lots of experience reading it. Really, not a whole lot of narrating it. Mostly for a stream, I think it's easier. For the most part, you're sticking with either like exactly what you did that moment or the recent past. Oh, I just died. You're not going into too many deep philosophical things. Like, what is the purpose of life? What were you doing 6 years ago to the day? What do you want to be when you grow up? Giraffe slave. No. Hard-hitting question. For the record, record, the answer for where giraffes live. We live in houses. If anyone's free to tell them that. Another thing, especially when I want softer shading, dramatic but soft, I make a copy and I'll come in. I've made this color a little bit warmer. I moved it more red and I made it darker at the same time. I'm gonna have that there. Later I'm gonna pull back the original color in here a little bit. Now. Oh, got a little smaller. Make some loose dark section for the wrinkle. Remember, just because the line isn't there doesn't mean that the wrinkle isn't. It's okay to come in and do a little bit of this. That, I'm going to come back for this. I'm going to make it come here. Most of this is pretty direct based on how I drew the other thing. Not all of it though. Where the buttons are would still be pretty dark. Come back in and do this. Now, I also want to come in. We're gonna go the other way for the lighter color. Lighter and cooler. That'll be things like for surfaces where the light hits a lot. Very often similar place shadow is. Your darkest shadow is usually where the highest crease is. The highest crease will have the most light hitting it. Not always, but will depend on the fabric, and I am, as you can see, by no means an expert. Like, literally at all, you probably shouldn't listen to me even a little bit. But anyway, we have this nice dramatic shape. Sometimes what I like to do is pull it down, which is why I made a second layer, and just see what it looks like. What I'm finding for this time, I actually really like the way it looks at this color. So I'm gonna merge it down again and hit that lock again. Now I'm gonna color smudge it back to the normal, like standard first color that I used. Opacity is less than half, size is large, so I'm not like getting caught up in a specific area. Out a little. I find it helps to pick up the pen a lot, but that will depend on your pen pressure settings. This starts to give it a feel of a soft fabric instead of a really rough, crinkly, which is what I was going for. You could leave it more rough if you wanted more of a crinkly kind of fabric, but I was picturing something that's kind of soft and smooth. Again, like before, if you go sideways, button. I think I do want to make those nice clear blue. Brush. I'm gonna get on a new layer. And doesn't a lot here. That's good. See how that little bit of color, huge difference. Nice. She came out here sundress. Maybe she's wearing I think bring that original back. Yeah, that looks a lot better. Instead of changing any of its warmth or coolness, gentle, subtle shadow. Maybe she's exceptionally coordinated with her colors. Remember, you can't draw where you haven't unlocked it. Unlock that. Draw this in. One of my favorite there is something like this where it's free. It'll shine. This. Bright color band, you have a band in the middle, and then almost white right at the center. Color smudge. This time I'm white. I want to add to the I zoom out. It's a super shiny necklace. Or bracelet. She's not wearing a necklace. One other thing I realized I forgot. Again, so back over here. Undo this again. A lock. And switch back to my pen. Fill this in gently. I mean, I suppose you could do it roughly, but I don't know if you achieve very much by being like, ah! Except, you know, maybe scaring your neighbors if you suddenly are yelling. Anyway, there's that. I'm really liking that hair. We're gonna add more detail to it in a little bit. Right now it's just the flat color. Next, I'm gonna label this so I remember, just because for the dress I can see what it is. But for the accessories I couldn't really. It's always good practice to name your things. I get a little bit lazy sometimes. But it's always good because something might happen and you'll wish you knew what that was and you won't know. Okay. Lights. I actually tend to make a very light color of the skin color. This one is more one important note. Don't make this white and don't erase. Reason being because depending on how you upload it to places, if it's white, although it will look very close, being like a light color versus white, sometimes the white is transparent, so if you do that, suddenly your character has no back of her eyes. A little bit alarming. same will happen if you erase. I think I'm gonna go with blue eyes, but I think I can't resist the really warm caramel brown. First, I'm gonna name this eye color. This looks warm. Now that I have that, I'm going to come back here. An eyedropper, my original back color. Shadows. More toward the gray. That in. Color over here. Up there. One thing I try to do with the eye whites better, but I usually forget until I try to leave a little bit of color. If I blend this, you'll see why. Doesn't work, I'll do it again. Like I said, normally I try to keep the white thing. I want to leave that unlocked, otherwise the effect doesn't. They blend together, gradient effect, that look a little bit more real. Less like lines of color that you've found. Go ahead and do eye. Oh, it looks. Okay. Difference probably isn't big worth out any. That's okay. Not everything. Alright. Next, we're gonna do the general highlights in the eye. So we have the eye color. We're gonna super light. Also make this a lot smaller. Not small. It's the most how you not like flavor, because people think food for food. That's the most personality word for it. Rest of the stuff in the eye about complement this feature here. For having and helps. Colors shift. Pressure is also getting less. Yeah, I'm almost using actual. And keep going in smaller areas of, and don't ever know what your side. So now I have that. Let's just do. Now I tend to like to do the next part on another layer so that I can make it darker if I need to. But we have our eye base color again, darker or lighter. Now, get a solid color. Okay, I feel like eyes this. Thought originally she was looking at us, but now I think past. I really like the shape of this. That eye. Favorite eye. Usually there's always one that just got better. That looks good. All that the iris. Now, favorite layer. I call this the shinies, and this is where the personality starts coming out again. Notice this one that I are looking past us, so I'm gonna copy it. Select down. Merge them together. One other thing that sometimes darker later. I think the dark really works. I'll leave them at like 96. Now, shinies, we're gonna grab this color. Whatever shape you make on a try to get a similar shape both sides. It doesn't have to be exact. It should be close enough that they look like they match. Now what I'm going to do is really light. These aren't actually ones that the eye highlights. If you look at my eyes, I have the whites there. That they follow my eyes. That's not the one I'm drawing right now. I'm drawing the one, here, maybe come a little bit closer and show you. So, you look at the very top, right there. See the ones that go above? Here, I'll point the giraffe at them. Here, giraffe. Okay, so see, like right here, where the giraffe is looking, that is what I'm drawing right now. These ones here, underneath my glasses, or this one here, where the giraffe is looking now, those are different. Those come at the very end. They're just little highlights to emphasize. Now let me shrink back away. I don't remember where I was. Okay, there we go. We've done those. And now we're gonna do highlights. And this can be the exact same color. This is gonna be the thing I was just talking about. I tend to like mine a little bit more subtle. Can give a surprising amount of personality very quickly. Cool. Along nicely. So I feel pretty good about these eyes. Normally I would strongly recommend don't do this, but I feel really good about them, so I'm just gonna merge them all together. Don't do what I did, because if I realize in like half an hour that I actually don't like them, it's too late. Now they're all stuck there, and I can't do anything to fix them. But I feel pretty good about it. Next, on cheek blush, because she's overheating. I want her to have a little bit red. Start super broad strokes. That. Up the areas that would be like that thing. Super light. Now to deal with the super rough edges, we're gonna bigger, get a little bit small circles. Remember, you're still using pink if you've done it this way. You'll be adding more. Go. Really like that. Add another layer, lighter pink. Back to brush and make all like that. I think I went too light. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make them more on the red side. I like that. Now I'm gonna lower the opacity. I like that. Still be light, they just won't be pink. I like that. And now we're gonna name this blush. Oops, quick. In a similar style. Probably not pure white, never pure white. Come in this. But yeah. One thing I like to do, I really like this color. Now I'll do this. Okay, back up to full opacity, but with that transparent looking color selected. Now I have that. I can do. I think I actually want her darker inner mouth and white of like, I don't know, teeth or something. Because her mouth is open. Nice. Realizing upon looking at her, I forgot to draw her nails. Okay. At this point, I feel like we're really wrapping up with her design. I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna start cleaning up around her line art so we can start doing the background. Yeah, and it's not gonna be super neat just because it's not the feeling. But just because it's not super neat doesn't mean we have to go out of our way to be messy either. Thinking it might be good to invest in some sort of timer or something around my streams, because I find myself wondering how long I've been recording. Don't you just want to go on a road trip and see the world? That's what this music makes me think of. I just want like an epic Disney montage of like the characters that go travel the world. Want to like whole new world it, except, you know, anyone can come. Life's short. Let's just see what there is to see. So nice. Days like this make me happy to be alive. What a great day. Been here, been drawing, video game, uploaded video of said video game. Video ready to go for tomorrow. At least I assume it's ready to go. It was processing when I started this. Yeah. Life's pretty great. Imagine all the time in infinity of the universe, everywhere you could have been, and here you are with me in this moment together. Something really magic about that. Oops. Goodness, or control. I do think, looking at the clock, I would guess I've probably been recording for about an hour now, based on what time it was when I started. So probably what I'll do is we'll finish up with the girls' design for today. And then I'll probably do another video tomorrow where we finish up the background. Slow down at the end of the song. Great. That looks a lot. you're seeing this at some point, you want to give me some suggestions for what you'd like to see, either in a video or a live stream, because at least as of the time that this video is posted, I have intentions on doing live streams and videos. Let me know. Let me know what you want to see. Let me know what you want to do. Some of my other plans involve, well, there's always playing games. I think that's a big one for a lot of people, myself included. I like watching people play games. I like playing games. Another one that I have I want to start Duolingo with people. Okay. Decided what language yet. Do Spanish. Nice way to tie people together. Speak Spanish, people who speak English, people who speak both. I feel like if I'm gonna be doing more sense to something I don't really know that well. What I've been doing on my own time is to communicate better the internet of 2021 in general. I've been trying to learn. Might do. Might audience. It's less about learning the Japanese and more about together figuring out what there. Oh dear. Moment. Maybe it'll go away. Okay. The moment passed. I no longer have to sneeze. For better or worse. That very accent like comes around like that. Fading into of brown, so it's now. Now I just need sort of color for the see what we end up if we grab them in. Ish. Oops. Pretty. Ah, qué bonita. Ah, that pretty. So what I'll do over here, because the whole ponytail is there too. Now, like before, we'll grab the color, blend, and big. Here. There. Stronger. All right, because it's still brown. My mistake. All that way. Gentle. Looks really nice, guys. We've been doing a great job. All right. It's gonna come up here. Color one to do last, like. I think this birthday, the last thing we do. Okay. I think yellow, similar to the dress. Name it gray. Colored in. Right across, because we're about to add the heart. I want the heart to be some sort of pink based on that highlight. Look at this. Love it. Great. One last thing I'm going to do above this copy, and first I'm going to play with its opacity a little bit. Just that's non-existent. That's a little bit there. There. Yeah, I think it's fine all the way there. Anyway, next I'm going to do some highlights, and then that's probably going to be where we stop. Big. In this. Looks weird right now. It does. It's because we haven't done any sort of blending to it or anything. Here. Huh? Mostly experimenting with the ink. Dots. Brightest it's good. I want to keep it. First, I want to grab. Close. Blend it. Down. That. Up. That is to keep. little, and you just have a bunch of circles there in every way. I like 46. Oh, I'm glad I tried. Look at that. Try a bunch of different. Oops. Highlights that we want. Although, looks kind of new. Man, how nice! That's so many different colors. Wow, even 100 looks really nice. Look at that. I think I'm gonna go with 75. Alright. Well, I think this is a good place to stop for today. But you know what? I'll see you all very soon. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a fantastic rest of your day. Bye-bye.